They stone him at the palace gates. The same hands he once fed with kindness now picked up rocks. The same mouths that sang his praises now shouted, "Down with the king." Blood mixed with the dust as the kind-hearted King Jekenna fell to his knees, betrayed not by his enemies, but by his own people. In the ancient land of Ogudu, surrounded by thick forests and silver rivers, there lived a king named Jekenna. He was not a warrior king. He didn't raise armies or conquer lands. Instead, he ruled with his heart. He would wake early to visit the marketplace. He knew every child by name. He shared meals with the poor. He forgave thieves and turned enemies into friends. People came from far villages just to hear him speak wisdom. His palace was always open, and nobody in Ogudu went hungry. But not everyone liked that. Some chiefs said he was too soft. They whispered behind his back, "A king must rule with strength, not sweetness." But the people still loved him, or so he thought. Because of the king's goodness, Ogudu became rich. Traders came from the coast. Farmers' harvests tripled. The people wore fine clothes and ate 3 times a day. But with abundance came a new kind of hunger, greed. Soon, the same people who used to thank the king for his kindness began to ask for more. The farmers wanted more land. The traders wanted fewer taxes. The chiefs wanted more power. The king said, "Let us grow slowly, so that our roots can hold." But they called him old-fashioned. A group of chiefs began meeting in secret. They stirred the people with sweet lies. "This king is holding us back. We could be as rich as the cities by the sea if we had a stronger ruler." The people, blinded by gold and greed, started to believe it. One dry season, there was a sudden drought. The rivers shrank, and the harvest failed. The chiefs used the chance to strike. They went to the people and said, "See, the gods are angry because we follow a weak king." The people, desperate and scared, listened. A crowd gathered at the palace. The sky was red with dust. The drums of rebellion beat louder than ever. King Jekenna stood on his balcony. He raised his hands and said, "My children, why do you rise against the one who fed you in the days of hunger?" But their hearts were already poisoned. They dragged him from his throne. They beat him. They cursed him. They cast him out like a beggar. And for the first time in history, Ogudu had no king, only greedy rulers with loud mouths and empty hearts. Without Jekenna, Ogudu changed. The new rulers brought in soldiers to control the people. They raised taxes. They sold farmlands to outsiders. The market that once buzzed with life turned quiet. Greed swallowed the land. Thieves ruled the roads. Children starved. The river dried completely, as if the gods themselves had turned away. People began to whisper Jekenna's name again, but this time with tears. They said, "We had peace, but we wanted power. We had a father, but we chose wolves." Far away, in the forest, old King Jekenna was alive. A kind hunter found him bleeding and took him in. 4 years, he lived in a small hut, tending to the sick animals and helping nearby villagers. He had no crown, but his heart was still royal. One day, a young boy from Ogudu found the hut. He had run away from the village after his parents died from hunger. When Jekenna heard his story, he wept. That night, the old king walked outside and spoke to the stars. "If the land still needs me, let the earth call me back." The boy returned to Ogudu and told the story of the king in the forest. At first, nobody believed him. But soon, others came forward. An old woman said, "He healed my son when the healers gave up." A trader said, "He gave me food when I had nothing." The whispers became shouts. "Bring back Jekenna." And so the people, ashamed and broken, went back to the forest. They fell on their knees before the humble heart and begged, "Forgive us. Come home." King Jekenna looked at them. He saw the same eyes that once turned against him, but now filled with regret. He said, "A father never stops loving his children. Let us rebuild." Jekenna returned, not as a ruler but as a guide. He taught them again how to live with kindness. He built schools, planted trees, and turned his palace into a place of learning. Before he died, he planted a tree at the center of Ogudu and said, "Let this tree remind you, power is nothing without heart. And no king is greater than his people." Years later, the tree stood tall, its roots deep, its shade wide. Children played under it. Elders told stories beside it. And every year, the people of Ogudu gathered there, not to remember a king who ruled with an iron hand, but one who ruled with love. If you enjoy the story, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you.